Have you ever felt like you're just floating through life, maybe not really living? Like maybe you're in a haze or a fog, drowning in your own to do list, or you're endlessly scrolling social media, still feeling disconnected from yourself and maybe others? Well, I remember a time too when I was juggling a million things at once: work deadlines, social obligations, the constant pressure to just figure my ish out. And despite being so busy, I felt empty inside. There was no clarity, there was no direction. I was just like lost in the sauce. And it was like I was stuck in my own head, but yet completely out of touch with the things in my life that truly mattered to me. If you've ever felt this way, you are not alone. So many of us are going through this right now, but there is a way out. So today we are going to talk about why we can feel disconnected or lost in the sauce and how we can reconnect to our mind, body, and soul. Hey there, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another Mindful Monday. I'm your host, that's right, your girl, Erica Trimnell, here to offer you some unique insights that really help us grow spiritually, allowing us to embrace every single aspect of the journey. Yes, even this sucky one right now that we're in, and helping us to break free of the prism of our own limitations. So, on this Mindful Monday, we are all about vibrational awareness and bringing that to life, understanding how our energy actually influences our reality, how we can co create that, and how we can learn to elevate our frequency for deeper healing, for clarity, and most importantly, alignment. So, if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling a bit out of touch, a little down, trust and believe that I have exactly what you're looking for today. So let's dive in together. First, we want to talk about this feeling that a lot of us are feeling right now, and it's a collective energy, this disconnection, this lost in the sauce, if you will. It could be an overwhelming of modern life and all of the things that are going on. Lost in the sauce isn't just a phrase, it really is a consciousness or a state of being. What happens is when we're so just immersed in the noise of daily life, work, social media, news, responsibility, expectations, we lose sight of the things in our life that are actually bring us to life, our core essence. We become overstimulated, but yet undernourished, constantly busy, but yet unfulfilled in life. So, thinking about this from the neuroscience perspective, we all experience chronic overwhelm, that overstimulation. And this is when your brain's prefrontal cortex, the area that's responsible for our critical thinking, our higher thinking, our clarity, decision making, and it just gets overworked. And meanwhile, we've got our amygdala, which processes our emotions like fear and stress. This starts to go into overdrive and creates this feedback loop of constant anxiety, confusion, and mental fog. So, over time, disconnection from our authentic self can manifest in things like very much indecisiveness or procrastination, a constant sense or feeling of exhaustion, even when you've rested, you've gotten your 8 hours of sleep. Maybe you feel a little bit numb, emotionally distant, or heck, maybe uninspired. Seeing distractions like scrolling, binge eating, binge watching TV, overworking to avoid the silence could be a good signal that you are disconnected. So, this feeling of out of touch doesn't just mean that we've lost track of ourselves and and social environments. There's an energetic misalignment there. It's your soul is actually calling out to you in this moment saying, "Hey, I'm here, something is off." It's that teacher. And the psychology, when we think about disconnection, the psychology of disconnection, where studies actually show that excessive screen time, like social media, can rewire our brains, reducing our ability to focus and actually process our emotions and form true, deep, and meaningful relationship. Technology gives us the illusion of connection while at the same time deepening our disconnection from real life experiences and ourselves. But disconnection isn't just caused by technology, it also can be caused by societal pressures. So maybe the constant push to achieve, or um, you have to be at a certain level at a certain time period in your life. Maybe it's suppressed trauma and emotion. So when your unprocessed pain can create this inner numbness in us, it could be your lack of just overall presence. When we're always thinking of the past or we're always thinking of the future, we miss out on this current moment. And it's in this moment that matters the most because it sets us up for the next moment. So, ways that we can start reclaiming our own sense of connection and purpose is to explore some powerful tips, some mindfulness tips that really help us bring us back into alignment, bring us back into the present moment. So, the mindfulness tips that I want to share with us today, calling back to what we talked about last week, is the breath work. That 4-7-8 breath work, a way to ground yourself. Really, there is a direct link between the mind and the body. And when we're stressed, we tend to breathe slowly and shallow. So that is a signal that we are more stressed and our nervous system is out of whack than most of us realize. So practicing that 4-7-8 breath, right? Inhaling through the nose for 4 seconds, holding it for 7, and then exhaling for 8 counts, and repeating this at least 3 to 4 times, or until you start to feel that sense of relief, that sense of presence, that present moment. This simple practice really activates your parasympathetic nervous system. So it's taking us out of that fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response and shifting us into the present. Another handy tip and tool that you can use is writing with your non dominant hand. So, you may not know this, and a lot of ancient cultures talk about this, but our dominant hand is actually controlled by our conscious, our logical, think of your prefrontal cortex, while our non dominant hand is connected to our subconscious, our intuitive mind. So, when you are writing with your non dominant hand, it helps us access emotions, insights, and clarity that may not surface when we're in our thinking mind. Because we've exhausted our thinking mind. So things that you can try using your non-dominant hand, for me, it's my left hand, grabbing a pen, grabbing a journal or a piece of paper, and with your non-dominant hand, write questions like, what do I need to know right now? And just allow yourself to flow, allow that intuitive mind to respond back. Then, what is keeping me disconnected? How can I return to alignment? Now, try switching hands and writing with your dominant hand, your overthinking hand, and then use that to compare and contrast. Now, you might want to stop this and practice that activity with your non dominant hand first and then do your dominant hand. So, the reason why this works is that this particular technique actually bypasses our logical resistance, which allows your inner wisdom to surface. It's an excellent practice for self discovery, for healing, and then just reconnecting with the forgotten parts of us. Because again, we are in this state where we're not really feeling connected. So to get back to connected using your non-dominant hand. Another beautiful exercise that you can do is earthing or grounding, but doing it in a visualization. So many ancient traditions emphasize visualization as a way to connect with nature more fully. And in modern times, we're mostly disconnecting from nature. So a visualization practice that helps us connect to nature's energy, especially in this transitional energy that we find ourselves in, is to do a visualization exercise. So you can go outside, you can ground or earth, and a really good thing to do, obviously, taking some deep breaths to ground yourself if that feels comfortable for you. And in that moment, closing your eyes and imagining yourself actually like a tree growing roots from the bottom of your souls, sinking deep into the earth's core, into the atmosphere. taking in that energy, maybe feeling the warmth of the sun, the stability of the earth beneath you, helping your body to rise up. And deep breaths into this, visualize yourself absorbing that ground energy, breathing in and out. And so imagine with each inhale, you are taking in that energy, and with each exhale, you're releasing any stress, negativity, mental clutter. And stay there for a few moments. Again, stay there till it feels right for you. Maybe you need to do that a few times to really move through and process the energy. So one of the reasons why this is such an effective practice, just like grounding or earthing, is that this helps us rebalance our electromagnetic field. Like, we are energy beings, right? We are constantly vibrating, and everything is vibrating around us. So reducing the mental fog, in I want to say inputting clarity to the world around us and ourselves. So when we're able to clear that electromagnetic field, we're able to introduce clarity and reduce the fog. Another tip that I want to leave you with is using the power of scent, using aromatherapy. We often overlook the power of scent when it comes to mindfulness practices, but scent is so powerful. Think of, well, I don't want you to think of this, but just know that you can smell something, right? And it immediately will call you back to that time in that moment, whether it's a good moment or a bad moment. So using it in a mindful way, using it as a tool, a sensory tool, to help us connect with the memory, help us connect with emotions, helps us connect with our subconscious mind. So there's certain aromas that bring on that state instantly, that mental clarity, and bring us back into alignment. So finding a scent that works for you, whether it's, I love lavender, maybe it's a fresh scent like lemongrass, or even whether you're using essential oils, or hey, the flowers outside, right? I've got some beautiful things blooming outside, to be and sit and just smell them and focus on the scent. Maybe focus on what thoughts pop up for you, what maybe colors originate from that, what shapes. Just dig into that. And maybe you say an affirmation like, I am here, I am safe, and I am present. Repeating these words can be really affirming to your spirit. And one of the reasons why this works is because, again, we are bypassing that logical thinking mind and going directly into the limbic system, the part of our brain that is responsible for our emotions, so where the amygdala is housed. This makes it so powerful to be able to return back to the present moment, because again, we're not in that thinking prefrontal cortex, which has already kind of gone offline, right? Because we're in this brain fog. So in thinking about the feeling of kind of lost in the sauce, a void can actually be a portal to alignment. So if you are feeling lost, it's really not a problem, but think of it as a portal. So think doing a cognitive reframe, if you will. So in many spiritual traditions, they describe this phase as like a dark night of the soul. It's a deep internal shift where old identities, beliefs, systems, or attachments, they start to fall away. And what gets birthed is this period of uncertainty, this period of sadness, or even an existential crisis. But the deeper truth is kind of like how we talked about last time. We're in this like cocoon. This void is not punishment. It is actually preparing us for the next phase of our journey. So when you feel disconnected from your usual sense of self, it usually is because you are shedding away old layers of conditioning that are outdated beliefs, that are old versions of yourself that no longer align with where your soul is guiding you to be. So I want you to think about that. Where your soul is guiding you to be. Yeah, so there's going to be some discomfort in this process. It's no mistake that it's the space that lies between, who you were and who you actually are becoming. It is the cocoon before the butterfly. It is the silence before the awakening. It is really a spiritual paradox, if you will, because sometimes we must lose ourselves in order to find ourselves, if that makes sense. and let that seed just get planted. So the emptiness that we feel is not lack, but it's actually clearing out a space for something deeper to come in. Just like a seed must break open in the darkness before it can grow, we too must surrender before we can actually transform. Think of your soul as like a tuning fork. When your life is out of harmony, you will feel that discomfort. That discomfort is what is guiding you towards actual alignment with your soul purpose. So the reframe of the void is, instead of asking, why do I feel lost? Why do I feel down? Ask yourself, what space is this trying to teach me? What am I calling in? The role of frequency and feeling lost from an energetic perspective is, feeling lost or disconnected can actually mean that it is your energy frequency that is starting to shift, but your external life hasn't quite caught up yet. It's really that vibrational mismatch or that dissonance that we are feeling right now. So imagine your spirit is upgrading to the higher version of yourself, but you're still engaging in old habits, in old relationships, in old environments that no longer serve you. It's this friction that is creating the discomfort. And until we're able to fully step into that new alignment, we're going to feel that. So some things that we can do are creating space for stillness, creating space for time with ourselves, whether it's meditation, being in nature, or just simply sitting in silence. Another thing I love is really listening to our body's wisdom, noticing what feels heavy versus what feels expansive and leaning into that. Releasing what no longer serves us, decluttering our space, shifting habits, or letting go of draining old relationships. I know I have definitely been cleaning my house, which is synonymous with spring cleaning. Go figure. Your soul is already at this point. It's just waiting for the external aspects to come into alignment. So this void is really, it's not our energy, but think of this void as your actual invitation, your invitation to show up as the person you want to be, as the person you are becoming. And you will continuously become, you'll continuously fulfill this cycle of becoming. Another beautiful strategy to lean into during this time is that sense of community. If you don't have a community, building a community, and community connection is so important. And science proves that even in ancient wisdom, that connection is actual medicine. Science proves that we are social creatures and we thrive off of meaningful, deep relationships. So engage in meaningful, deep relationships because it helps our brain release that oxytocin, which is that building hormone, which lowers that stress, it boosts the mood, and increases our resilience. In other words, we are wired for connection. We're wired to be amongst, that's why I have this. We are a community together. So yet when you feel lost and you want to isolate yourself, it's either because you don't want to burden others or because we don't feel understood. But this is the time where you actually need to lean into being in community. This disconnection deepens the sense of lostness, and true healing does not happen in isolation. I'm sorry. True healing happens in the safety of community and supportive environments where we feel safe, where we feel seen, heard, and valued. So maybe try reaching out to someone you love and care about right now and see how that feels. Maybe sending a text just saying, hey, I was thinking about you. This can help ignite that, again, releasing that oxytocin hormone, lowering your stress. Maybe you find a group that aligns with your interests of who you are becoming. Or maybe it's a meditation circle or a creative writing class or a local volunteer group where you're able to be around like-minded individuals. During this time, especially with everything going on in the world, community is our medicine, and it's something that we are so needing right now. So lean into that uncomfortableness when you want to self-isolate, because I know I self-isolate, so I'm with you on that. Practice conscious connection with others. So next time with your Wait, next time next time when you're with your friend, put your phone away. Actually be there, be present, look into their eyes, listen deeply, feel their presence. Be in connection and community. It's these small moments of real connection that help rewire our brains and our nervous system for belonging. Remember, we talked about how technology can ruin that connection. So by doing this, you're rewiring your brain and that neuroplasticity comes in. So you don't have to go through this alone. There are plenty of people out there who resonate with your energy, who see you as a beautiful soul that you are, like I see you, who are deep seeking individuals who want that connection, who are maybe more aligned with your authentic self. And it just feels like a more effortless relationship than maybe your family. That's what we call our soul family. Your people are looking for you. I'm looking for you. I am here for you. You just kind of be open to the possibilities that you are closer than you think to your tribe, to your soul family. We are here. And just to recap what we talked about today, if you are feeling lost, out of touch, it is common. Most of us are going through this. It isn't a sign to pause, but it's a sign to realign. Mindfulness is a great practice that we can use, that breath work, that grounding, that using the journaling with a non-dominant hand. Ancient wisdom reminds us that purpose isn't something to find, but it's something to remember. Each and every one of us has a purpose in this world. You just gotta remember what yours is. Building community and seeking meaningful connections is super imperative during this time to help us feel anchored, to have that deeper connection, and to be able to be present with ourselves. Remember, the void isn't something to fear, but it's actually a portal for your own alignment. So I challenge you by taking a small step today, even if it's just a deep breath, or writing in your journal, or reaching out to a friend. And if this video at all resonate with you, let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, share, do all the things. Whatever helps you feel connected when you're lost, let me know. Let's share that. Let's build this repository. And as you journey back to yourself, remember, this isn't about finding something new. It's about remembering who you've always been along the way. You are not lost. You are simply being called back home. Thank you so much. I love you. Until next time. Bye.